She says, be super careful. These people use this medallion to talk to them and understand their language.
Yeah.
And then the narrator says, or at least Dusk's point of view says, and none of the guards saw her do this. And I was like, what? What do you mean none of, like, the only two people the guards are looking at are Dusk and Starling. What do you mean none of the guards saw this? And then literally like 5 minutes later, Dajer's like, yeah, we totally saw it, that she gave you a coin.
Yeah, but was she crouching?
Ah, yes. Was her
makes
stealth level 20?
Yes, yeah, that makes a really big difference. If she was crouching, maybe they didn't see her there, so.
Welcome back to Following Nodon, the Stormlight podcast. We are on episode 285, Isles of the Emberdark, yet again. We're into chapters 38, 39, and 40. I'm very excited to dive into it with my co-hosts, Paul and Trevor. We are recording this episode right around Christmas time, so the festive cheer is in the air. Paul, how are you doing this festive time of year?
I'm doing wonderful. Can I go second? Trevor, how are you doing?
Oh, hard pass.
Wow. I just got shoved to the microphone. I'm good.
You did.
I'm doing well. My Christmas decorations have been up for over a month now, and we still have several days to go till Christmas, but yes. All right,
Paul?
now, are you ready, Paul?
Oh, yes, wonderful. I just didn't want to. I was going to talk about some other things, so I didn't want to. I wanted to give Trevor his opportunity to tell us how he's doing and everything. I'm doing really well. Merry Christmas to everybody. I thought this was going to be the episode that aired on the 23rd, right before Christmas Day, but I think Trevor informed me it's going to be the 30th. So also, I guess, a Happy New Year to everybody. So, but also exciting. We have a patron that I wanted to shout out. And so I got a new cup for this episode, and I felt it was also quite Christmassy, which is why I was a little sad that it is now the 30th and not the 23rd. But I have a lovely cookie jar, a gingerbread house cookie jar.
Oh my goodness.
Which I walked in.
Does that have water in it?
It does, yes. I will drink out of it, I promise. So first, I want to say thank you to our surgeon, Logan. We're very grateful for your support. But also, a little story is that whenever I walk in with an eccentric cup, I try to kind of be discreet so that my co-hosts don't see it, so they get a little bit of a reaction too. And I walked in with this, and I'm like, there's no hiding this. And so I just walked in plain with it right in front of me, right in my hands, walking in camera shot. And I sat down and I'm like, oh, okay, surprises up. I'm sure y'all saw what I brought in. And they were both like, no, not at all. But there is water in here.
For you audio listeners, he just brought in a gingerbread tin kettle cup thing that is as big as his head.
Yeah.
It is certainly not tin. It's a
cookie jar.
Yeah, it's a cookie jar.
Isn't that one of those? Oh, I thought it was one of those like tin Christmas cookie like things.
I don't know what it is. Is it ceramic?
It's like ceramic.
Something like that, porcelain or something?
Oh, so it's like 10 pounds in your hands.
It's heavy. Yes, it is heavy. And like if you dropped it, it would shatter. Like if you dropped it on a hard floor. So I'll be very careful with it.
It would not go in my house.
I haven't taken a drink yet because honestly, drinking out of a square is actually a little bit challenging. Sorry, rectangle. Because there's not a good corner here because it's like long on the corner. I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, I'm going to go for it. But thank you so much, Logan, for your support. We really appreciate it. As always, having another surgeon in the midst. Can't have enough of them. So we're really grateful for that. And of course, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody. Late, apparently. I totally would have said it last episode if I realized. So my formal apology about that.
Wow. Thank you, Logan.
Thank you, Logan. Appreciate it. Elliot, you teased where Logan finished in the competition, so I want to throw it to you so you can say it
Yeah, I did. I was curious to see if Logan had entered into our our book giveaway challenge where where we had everybody try to guess how wrong Paul and Trevor were going to be with their trivia question of what page will Dusk speak to Starling. And Logan, you did enter into our competition, but I am going to spoil the results a little bit for you now and say that Logan, you finished 9th, which pretty impressive, I would say. Actually, you did quite well. You finished 9th.
Good top 10 finish,
but not the top.
I hate to break it to you, Logan. I'm sorry. On Christmas, we're telling you didn't win, but you did great.
I'm sure it was I that let you down, not Paul. Paul, you probably got spot on, and
I'm sure that will be the case that we figured out.
We can see exactly. Oh, he was quite close on both of you actually. 17 pages off with Trevor and 18 pages off with Paul.
And he got 9th?
Correct.
What?
Correct.
Wow.
I'll just say this now. Your mind is going to be blown when we announce the winner. I'll just say that.
Because
it's
you.
It's Elliot. No way. Come on.
I win myself another copy of the book. All right. With that, we should probably jump into our chapters here. Just 3 chapters tonight, 38, 39, 40. Trevor, you want to try and hit us with a quick summary?
Yeah. So our Malwish are a little bit more malevolent than we thought. And trap Nas in a box. And then they talk to Dusk about the Cave of Death. And then we talk to Starling about being a dragon.
There you have it.
You're getting good at these summaries.
Thanks. Paul, what do you want to start with?
I want to start with the Starling stuff. Like, honestly, what's been in my mind, this may be skipping too far to the end, but if I may, as Trevor said, where do I want to start?
Yeah, it's the episode's yours, Paul. Go ahead.
Okay. Dajer tells Starling, he offers her, like, hey, come work for me, and I will remove your manacles. I could do that.
So we really are just going to the end of the episode. You're not joking here.
You said what do
All right,
I
let's
want
do it.
to
Let's
talk
go.
about?
Let's go backwards. Okay,
that's what I want to talk about.
The dragons have a dawn shard. We'll just start with this.
Oh boy.
Yes, and it even talks about we learned a little bit of new dawn shard information here. We learned that dawn shards essentially leave an impression on wherever they were to some degree,
which we did know already.
We did? Okay. I learned something new in this chapter. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So we knew they have a dawn shard. We're not told what the dawn shard is, though. I was really trying to figure that out because I really want to track down our dawn shards desperately. But alas, no name drop. Gonna say yet. I'm hoping maybe we'll find that out. That would be awesome, because we across the Cosmere, haven't we gotten an inventory of 2 dawn shards?
I believe we have exist and change.
Exist and change, yeah. We have
is that true?
We have Rissen's dawn shard and then Hoyd's /
the one
Sigzil's,
the one he gives Sigzil right before getting zapped is
change, isn't
exist.
Oh.
And then I pressed the mute button, sorry. And then what's her face's Rissen's is change.
Okay. So I'm hoping that this will become more prevalent. Of course, I just want more Dawn Shard information. Do I think this is going to be the book where all the secrets of the Dawn Shards are revealed? No. But it is.
Are you really waiting with bated breath on Dawn Shard information?
Absolutely.
I'm not.
That's like as far as Cosmere questions, my main ones are what are the shards up to? And where and what are the Dawn Shards? Those are probably my 2 biggest ones. Like, I want to know where Mercy is. I want to know where Invention is. Which also we get a mention of Invention in this episode. which we'll
we
come
can't
back
talk
to
about
here
it
in a
till the
little bit.
end because we started at the end of the episode. We have to go back to the beginning.
Yep, of course. You didn't have to ask me to pick what I want to talk about, Trevor.
It's all you, Paul.
Anyways, those are the main things. Are you like the Dawn Shard information comes up? Are you like next chapter skip?
No. I'm just not looking out for it. Like Dawn Shards show up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. I mean, when they're relevant, I'm sure I'll be excited. But they're not relevant.
Well, we know that once we learned that they are like the crux or like the tool or weapon used to destroy Adonalsium, right? Like that's what they were used for in some capacity. Then I was like, okay, every bit of information I can get, I would like to know. I'm wondering, like my mind gets racing. Are they going to be used in some way? Are we ultimately going to reform Adonalsium? That's a question that's gone around. Are they going to be used in that in some capacity?
No,
what else could they be used for?
It's Stormlight 10 when Retribution also syncs up with Autonomy and the Resurrection of Ambition, and we get a quad synced together shard, and the only thing that can stop that is the 4 Dawn shards brought together. So we go and get all those and combine them all, and then we zap whatever Retribution plus Ambition plus Autonomy is.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do you remember the first time a Dawn Shard was ever mentioned to us? Because I do.
No? It's probably early.
Is it in
the very last, or maybe
Oathbringer?
second to last chapter of The Way of Kings.
Okay.
Tanavast has Dalinar has a vision of Tanavast, and Tanavast is like, he won, he killed me, go find the Dawn Shards. That's our first mention of him. Not very helpful, Tanavast, if you knew that the dragons had one. There's no shot they're gonna go grab that one. Like, why was that information you needed to give us if the dragons have one on Silverlight or Yolen or whatever? And I mean, the most he could think of was 2 on Roshar at the time, or maybe 1. I don't know. Anyway, I just had that epiphany of, if the dragons really have a Dawn Shard this whole time, and that was well-known information, not very helpful to invest.
Well, let's talk about the information that does get revealed to us here in chapter 40. Apparently, the dragons had a super secret special vault where they were keeping their Dawn Shard with us.
No, they had a super well-known non-secret vault, and that's why they moved it.
Well, yes, but it talks about having an impenetrable lock on it.
No, it's super tight and impenetrable.
Known but safe.
But everybody knows where it is. That's my point, is that if that this is well known, that Malwish knew that it was here. So presumably Tanavast would know that it's here.
So here's my question. Are you guys disturbed at all by the fact that Dajer has a live video feed of the Malwish digging around in this vault?
Yeah, I mean, it's not super comforting, I'll be honest.
Yeah, honestly, there's very little that our Malwish do that give me any sense of comfort. I kind of don't trust them at all.
Fair enough. Did you guys catch the name of the... light bulb over there.
Finish your question.
Well, I'm going to go in a different direction, so you better share your light bulb.
Who else is hunting for Dawn Shards? Besides, now we know the Malwish. Come on.
Is this not the Ghost Bloods?
Nope.
Well, it's Sunlit Man, right?
Yeah.
Who's hunting Nomad?
The people. The group of people.
The Night Brigade.
The Night Brigade.
Yes.
What does the Night Brigade have as their crew?
Shades.
Shades. I just made that connection of having shades on your ship as crew. May not be that far-fetched. Paul, you asked last episode, were they not super concerned about a shade and a Mrs. Kremling woman and a dragon all on one ship? Maybe not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in this day and age, it seems fairly common. So I think I was just stuck in the past.
Yeah, anyway, I had that light bulb moment. Go ahead, Delete.
Did you guys catch the name of the device that the Malwish used to break this impenetrable lock in the Dragon Vault?
The key.
Wrong.
The universal key.
The bolt cutters.
Wrong.
The super powerful laser.
You guys didn't catch this? Did the audiobook
No,
reader
I
not
did.
give like
It's-
a dun 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 after it?
No, he calls it, or she calls it. I believe this is Starling's point of view. She calls it the intensifier
The intensifier.
in her voice for Dajer.
So the Malwish have a device of some kind of focused investiture zapper thing,
Laser.
basically. They've got an investiture laser that they've cut open an impenetrable dragon lock with, and Dajer seems to imply heavily that this device could do what?
Free her shackles. This is all according to Dajer, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? This video could be AI, for all I know.
Wow. Yeah, that's the thing, and Starling obviously doesn't believe it. Says no, like, okay, your little gadget there, your little doohickey is pretty neat, but
She doesn't
not gonna
believe
work.
it, but she does feel at least a little tempted by the idea.
Yeah, she doesn't believe it until the video, and then she's like, "Well, hold up, you live." He's showing her video evidence of them breaking a lock. So,
And
Yeah.
she spends a few moments thinking about what it would be like to be free again, to be able to take her dragon form, to be able to fly. She's not completely brushing aside this offer.
Oh no, absolutely. I was gonna say she initially, says, "Haha, nice gadget," but then she starts to think about it. So the offer here is to basically work for Dajer, right? To become a member of his crew, almost partly as a trophy of like, hey, I've got a dragon on my crew, and partly as a I didn't pick up on all of it. It was a lot of the the work, essentially. A common workplace issue they have might be people respecting their employees, and people would respect a dragon. Essentially, was what I was taking away from it. There's probably some more specifics in there, but that's what I was taking away. And so it's kind of like a, frankly, a token dragon hire. Like it's like a weird situation where it's gonna like help his status, his crew, and she'll be on his team, but you know obviously doesn't want to be a part of his team. So I don't know where this is going to go. Is this just going to be like a mention, a temptation, and she's like, no, actually, I'm not going to do that? Or are we going to go down that route? I mean, obviously that's Raffo, but yeah,
what
she's tempted by the idea.
one of the things that she battles in her head of whether to take this or not is Hoyd would be really disappointed in me if I took this, which I thought was interesting. That how Hoyd views her is still quite high in her mental, whatever you want to call that.
Indeed.
That also reminds me. You're right, and that was a big thing of like she holds Hoyd very highly respected, Master Hoyd. Um, on the topic of this is the Millennium Falcon, does that mean that Starling is like the Luke Skywalker equivalent and Hoyd is his like Obi-Wan or something? I don't know what kind of dynamic we got here. Anyways,
We're really stretching this Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, we are. Absolutely we are. That was a bit far. But you're right. That's the case.
So when Hoyd comes back, he's gonna say hello there.
Absolutely. But also, doesn't it mention something about, I could be wrong, I'm getting details mixed up a little bit, but Starling makes some kind of clever remark, and doesn't Dajer say something about like? There's some comment made about a relationship that Starling has had. Does that ring a bell?
What?
I thought they mentioned something about a relationship Starling has
Well,
had.
He mentions the relationship that she had with her former master, meaning Hoyd, like meaning she's an apprentice master relationship
Yes.
with Hoyd, if that's what you're talking
Okay.
about.
That is what I'm talking about. And I was mistaken, because whenever I heard this, I thought they were saying she dated Hoyd, and I'm like, this seems a bit awkward
I don't think
here. I think you're right. I think I'm wrong about that, but I'm going to blame the audiobook because I was led to believe that.
Whoa.
So it's definitely not my fault. That's for
What
sure.
were you doing while you listened to it? Blame that.
We've already seen Hoyd date people way younger than him, so I mean, why not?
It's true.
Anyway, what else? I have no idea where we're at in this outline because y'all are going backwards.
Yeah, because we're going in reverse. We now need to go into the Cave of Death and then back out of it, walking backwards. So we go into the Cave of Death and talk about Death Ants. Death Ants have made a cameo again, Paul. Your prize to Death Ants.
Yes, absolutely. Very exciting. I've refrained from doing this, but I really thought about bringing like an animal fact into every single episode and giving myself an unplanned animal fact like tidbit every episode.
Would have been good if you pulled it off, but it might have been annoying if you didn't. Like if you pulled it off well, I mean.
Well, it sounds like you have little faith in me, Trevor.
No, I think no. I just said it would have been good if you pulled it off.
Can't be worse than me dragging you guys through engineering explanations. So I'm all for the Paul's animal.
Yeah,
segment.
you need a visual, Paul, and then people would go for it.
You're
right. All
okay.
over Elliot's visuals.
Okay.
So, Cave of Death. Talk me through this, guys. What's going on here? There's a cave on this island in Emberdark.
So I can't talk about this yet because it's the beginning of the chapter. But Dusk says that the Cave of Death is well named, and then they get to the cave, and then they're both like, "Oh, it's not a cave; it's a tunnel." And the tunnel goes underneath the moat, presumably onto the middle island. And Dajer even says that they've kind of scouted it. There's rock like tendrils that go under the Unsea and connect to the middle island, and we're presuming that this is one of them, and it is a tunnel that gets you around the snake. However, there's a bunch of super patchy-like defenses on it, so only a trapper would know how to get through this. Coincidence? Yeah, okay. So the only thing that I thought was actually really weird about this is Dusk thinks to himself, "Oh, this is so weird and terrible. Why is Patchy's defenses in Shadesmar here?" Dusk, it's obvious. You've been trained for this. Like we talked about this 2 episodes ago. You talked about this 2 episodes ago. Patchy's trained you for this. That's the whole point of why they were on Patchy, why they're here as well. Because there's a secret passageway that only you can get through. That's the whole point. And then Dusk doesn't put that together.
So, just to make sure I clarify what you're saying here, are you meaning to go as far to imply that Patchy has intentionally trained Dusk to be able to go through this cave?
Yes, Autonomy has created 3 different perpendicularities, put different trials on each of them so that only trappers, only people who are graduated from Autonomy school can get through it.
Got it. Okay. I like your thinking.
I don't know what the super secret death trap is on the actual perpendicularity that we came from, but anyway, that's my theory.
So let's go even further down theory road. Well, I don't know if this is a theory or not. If you were in Dusk's shoes and you've encountered your enemy, you're kind of behind enemy lines here, and you find the trial that clearly you've been trained to go into, although, yeah, maybe he doesn't realize that yet. What would you do? Do you go through the tunnel to find out what's in there, or do you try to not?
That's a good question.
I'd have to ask ChatGPT first.
Yeah, my brain no longer works, Elliot. I have to ask my AI companion.
No, I'm kidding. That is a really good question, Elliot. I feel like I'm naturally a just go forward kind of guy. If I'm hypothetically Six of the Dusk as well, and I'm hypothetically like ready and well prepared to deal with death ants and all the like, I also feel like that makes for a more exciting story, in my opinion. So if you're meta gaming there, I feel like that's what I would. I think that's what I would say.
And yeah, assume you've got this, you've got the skills to go in here, but clearly this guy is manipulating you. Who's going to benefit if you make it through the cave to whatever's on the other end?
I will say Dajer is not so well suited, well prepared for this, right?
True.
He's the one who's like, holy smokes, these ants, like that's a big deal. Like, don't get me near those or whatever, right? Like he's not prepared. So Dusk has definitely got a lot of home court advantage here. So I feel pretty confident in that.
The ants are only 1/3 of our problem in the tunnel here, though, because one person went in and got killed by the ants. He said that. And then the other two got past the ants and then died horrible, terrible deaths, screaming really loudly that they could hear it all the way out from the beginning of the tunnel. So whatever the other two died from was not an ant, because it specifically says you take 3 steps and you die. Like there's no suffering with a death ant. You just die. So either they got eaten alive by death snakes, or skull snakes is what he calls them, or something else is in there. Night moths. What are they called? Night moths.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking of. That's kind of the like classic patchy horror that Dusk always talks about. So that'd be my guess. Could be something new, or at least new to us. It may be something Dusk knows about, but is new to us. But
the big question is, Dusk's going to successfully talk Rock into going into this tunnel with him. Like this bird is super skittish, the little chick that he has.
True.
Is he going to successfully convince Roque to go into this tunnel?
All good questions.
Absolutely. So. Everyone's going in the tunnel for sure.
Everybody follow behind Dusk. Well,
that'll be Dusk's first word to Starling. Hey, want to come down this tunnel with me?
There we go.
Exactly like that.
There we go.
Paul, are we at your prediction yet?
Not yet.
Wow.
And speaking of Dusk and Starling interactions, we do get interaction in chapter 38. But Dusk does not speak to Starling.
Starling talks to Dusk.
She does.
And so she says, be super careful, these people use this medallion to talk to them and understand their language.
Yeah.
And then the narrator says, or at least Dusk's point of view says, and none of the guards saw her do this. And I was like, what? What do you mean none of, like, the only 2 people the guards are looking at are Dusk and Starling. What do you mean none of the guards saw this? And then literally like 5 minutes later, Dajer's like, yeah, we totally saw it, that she gave you a coin.
Yeah, but was she crouching?
Ah, yes. Was her stealth level 20?
Yes. Yeah, that makes a really big difference. If she's crouching, maybe they didn't see her there. So
I just thought that was really, like, I listened to it and I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean nobody saw it? Like, it was explicitly described that this island is flat. The only thing that you can see is each other, and everyone is staring at Starling and Dusk.
That is actually really funny, Trevor. I did not realize that at all. But like, yeah, that is quite ridiculous.
So this chapter, this was the moment when I thought of my sneaky trivia question for you guys, because we'd known from the beginning that Starling was going to be a character in this book. And here we are 250 pages or something like that, more than 270 pages into this book before they first ever interact. And I chuckled when I read this chapter, and we're 270 pages. We finally get our characters to interact, and Dusk doesn't even say anything to her and or engage with her in just about any way. And I found that kind of funny and figured I would tease you guys with it with my trivia question. So, Paul, question to you now. How are you feeling? Is Dusk ever going to talk to Starling?
This has me a bit nervous because feasibly, Dusk could absolutely go this entire book without talking it. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Dusk could go the whole book without speaking a word. I don't think that's going to be the case. I feel like it would be a little bit, I don't know, this is metagaming a little bit, not actually thinking of the story, but thinking of like the question. I'm like, it would be a little funny to go all the way to the end. Really, I have no idea. But I'm like, surely Dusk has to say a word. It might be like a last page type of thing, would be funny. Eh, I mean, I still have some time left, but I don't know. I I expect whatever he will say. I'm debating between, is this going to be something funny or not? Because I feel like this kind of build up to what is Dusk going to say to Starling. I don't know. It'd be really funny if it was something that like the first word he actually speaks to her is, I don't know, something a bit ridiculous. I've got no idea really at this point. Now that they're in the same room, as soon as they were in the same room, like I really thought that was going to be the end of it. Essentially, same room. We're in the Emberdark. There's no room here, but like you know what I mean. Same scene on camera.
Well, we will we'll find out as we go. Chapter 38 though. What else is in here?
A big lore dump. Dajer catches Dusk up on the entire plot of the book. He sits him down and says, "This is what's going on." And I thought that was kind of funny. But it's a really good chapter. The reveals that we get of how involved the Malwish are, the history of said Malwish, fighting the Rosharans. There's an interesting idea here with the war that has been referred to several times in this book. I believe Starling says it's specifically the Malwish who are at war, and then it's presumably the Rosharans, or at least someone from Roshar is the war, in quotes. And so now I'm wondering, is the Ellendale Basin even around? Like, have they been conquered? Or are they prisons on their own planet, like our Knights Radiant on Roshar? Like, is it like these super empirical Malwish versus Retribution, and everybody else is trying to like get out of the way?
Did you catch a reference? Dajer talks about, oh, I'm an engineer. I move things out of the way or I put them there. But I wasn't always. I used to be ground infantry, and I fought at the Battle of, I don't know how to pronounce this. Aheleha?
That's about right. Aleha or something like that.
I'll help you with something that might not have been obvious in the audiobook. That word is a perfect palindrome.
Oh.
Okay, I'm really glad you said that. Because whenever he said it, I like y'all, I don't remember the word exactly. It sounded to me like not a Harietiam, but very similar style.
Oh, that
And
word screams Roshar to me.
I was about to say, it instantly made me think of Roshar. It sounded like a name for a battle that we have not yet seen, was my guess. And that's absolutely what I thought. So I'm glad you're bringing this up. Yeah, I need to look back and see what that word was or hear it again. But it absolutely sounded like almost like it was a Harietiam 2, like the second, new version,
Should we go on a big war theory rant? Or should we not?
A big war theory rant?
Yeah, like theorize on what's going on with this war. So now, okay, we're going to do it.
Okay.
I'm wondering if Harmony has manipulated the Malwish to go slow down Retribution while he gets his act together.
Let me read this section of the book now that we're thinking along these lines. Here's exactly what Dajer says. I was a soldier, ground combat, fought in the Battle of Ahedleha. They burned the very sky around us. So much smoke, like it was suddenly midnight, and the darkness was strangling us. My brain starts to go about 5 different directions with that, and I'm not quite sure which one to follow.
Well, I mean, it's like a Dustbringer army that they're fighting, presumably with maybe an unmade throne in there. That'd be my guess.
That we've seen the sky catch on fire before. That happened on. I'm thinking of the new word, Alaswa. What was the other word?
That's the only word that I can think of at the moment.
The other planet, Ashen. Yeah. We also just left Roshar in like a never-ending darkness of the Everstorm.
Right.
I don't know quite what to pin this on of what exactly happened at the Battle of Ahedleha, but it sure seems like it was on Roshar. Malwish ground combat troops on Roshar.
Oh, well, I don't know if I go that far, but
I was going to say it's not 100% confirmed that this is Rosharan.
That's true.
They're fighting Rosharans for sure, but I wouldn't say they're
so.
necessarily on Roshar.
I was going to say it is also possible. What I was going to say, and Trevor, I think you just touched on it. It's possible that at this point, Rosharan customs or things are elsewhere in the Cosmere. So you could have a battle named that does not actually take place on Roshar, right? But if it's like goes down in history, Rosharan term like this name of the battle or whatever, I could very much see that be the case. It screamed Roshar. I feel like it's got to be involved in some capacity. I feel like there's no way this got through edits and proofreads and everything. Perfect, like palindrome or whatever, and it has nothing to do with it. Right? Like it's too much of a pointer. So yeah, I definitely keyed into that. Even just from here, I did not know it was a palindrome though. That is really cool.
I want to hear from our listeners out there. Jump in and comment with us either on our YouTube video or come chat in our Discord. I want some opinions on this. What is happening in this war? Are Scadrian ground infantry invading Roshar? Or is this just... See, he specifically... I'm hung up on the fact that he specifically says he's ground infantry. I feel like space battles is far more likely of... As the Rosharans explore, they're going to bump into the Scadrians, and now there's kind of turf wars. But all that to me screams either in the Emberdark or in space. This is a like on the ground battle. Where are we fighting this? I'm intrigued by this a lot.
Elliot, I can't believe you're spoiling this book for us. How do we know that we didn't drop everything and go talk about the war for the next 20 chapters in this book?
Maybe we do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I think it's. I wonder if we'll ever actually see the war, or if it'll just be like referenced of it happened and now it's done. You know, like
That wouldn't be surprising to me because that's how a lot of our wars have been.
yeah,
There are a lot of like references to this as a big war in history. I mean, we've certainly seen some warfront activity, but like, but there's a lot of others that we have not seen and probably never will see more than we already know. We will be given, I'm sure, like a place, a reason, like a significance, and all this stuff. But
Did you guys notice another Roshar reference in this chapter? Dajer, I think he's talking to Starling. I don't remember for sure though. I think it might be when he's like, I can fact check that. And then he turns to his like soldier sergeant dude that's next to him. He says, Go contact on the span reader.
and read it. Yes.
Yeah.
I missed this.
He goes and contacts Silverlight via span read.
Yeah.
I think is funny.
That is a very Roshar term.
I can't get out of the fact that we have such modern technology with like massive gaps, and we're substituting it with magic. I just think it's really funny that all of our starships are like ether fueled, where you could just do like gasoline,
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's really funny that we're going out of our way to make holes in our technology and fill them with magic, like the span read. Like, you can't text them. Like, come on, you've got a live video feed back home on Roshar, on Yolen. Like, you can't go text them. You got to span read them.
The video feed is a funny comparison there, but there's no cell towers in the Emberdark, so his phone does not have reception.
No, is this a recording of back home that he's showing her, or is this supposed to be a live feed?
I don't know. Yeah, he clearly is in contact pretty easily with someone or something. So yeah.
He sent word to go get the super laser and it'll be here tomorrow. How does he know that? Just saying.
Span read. Someone wrote him with the ink and pen.
Mm-hmm. And left their Fabrial just in the right spot on the paper for it to write the same thing.
Paired Fabrials.
That's not the only Fabrial mention in this episode. We have a light box. And it's specifically not as good as Roshar and Fabrials, but we have a light box to put Naz in.
Okay. Did you guys get Luigi's Mansion vibes when they pull out the ghost sucker box?
No, but I should have.
And they suck him in, the ghost, into the light box with the vacuum.
I'm really disappointed that I did not, because man, I love Luigi's Mansion. What a great game.
Oh, that's really funny. He literally is a ghost. Yep. He like appears like Boo, and then they suck him into the. That's really funny.
Yep. Boo even goes all like red eyes crazy on you on certain levels. Like, oof. Those are I traumatized as a kid when Boo goes ham on you.
What else? Oh, we need to talk about Dusk's and Dajer's relationship moving forward. The Dusk is way more receptive to all this than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be a lot more out of his depth than he takes this all in fairly good stride and keeps his wits about him and has this kind of mental duel with Dajer and gets more out of it than I think Dajer gets out of him. And Dusk has come to the conclusion. Well, actually, Dajer asks him if he would wish for that the world go back to what it was. And Dusk gives him the quote of, "We must look for new dawns, not old sunsets. We need to accept where we are and move forward and look for new things, as opposed to hold on to the old Dusk." And I thought that was a very good quote. I still stand by the other quote was better. I don't remember what I said, but the muscles one, I think. And yeah, that Dusk is taking this way better than I thought. He kind of just shows up to this island with a bunch of starships on it, and he's like, that's life.
I liked this quote quite a bit, just for the symbolism of it, of his name is Dusk, and then him quoting this at Dajer, we must look for new dawns and not old sunsets. But then I think it gets even better. There's kind of a layer deeper in it too, because remember, I think Trevor, you pointed this out last episode. This whole time, Dajer is calling him Sixth, which is not his name.
Yep.
And in this quote, he's like beating him over the head of, we can't go back. Dusk has come. We must look for new dawns, not old sunsets. He's like making fun of him inside the cool quote he's giving.
That's funny.
Using his name as a reference for that, ominous thing he's named for. I thought it was pretty clever.
I didn't catch that connection. I'm glad you mentioned that, but I did like the quote in general. I'm like, that's was one I was penciling down as, when we talk about quotes at the end of the book, inevitably. I thought it was pretty cool.
The book goes out of its way to tell you that Dusk really doesn't like Dajer. But I feel like Dajer hasn't really done anything to really earn that yet. Like, he doesn't trust him from the start. But building on all of what we've done, like, yeah, he's slime, and yeah, he's going to betray him later. We all know that. But Dusk doesn't, I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving Dusk enough credit, but I feel like Dajer's pretty cordial here. He gives him a room and he walks him around the island. Like, he doesn't shoot him, like.
I think maybe the one big thing that Dusk, I think, does key into is Dajer does very little to hide the fact that he intends to take advantage of the Elican people. He just about comes out and says that in some of the conversations that they have of, I'm here to exploit. I'm here to make my name, to get rich off of birds and perpendicularities. And you're right. He hasn't outright betrayed Dusk. He's been quite cordial and is sharing information with him. But there's a very thinly veiled threat in everything he's saying.
Did you catch the line of when he tells him that he's an engineer, and Dusk says, "Oh, so you make weapons?" And Dajer says, "No, I construct things, or more accurately, I remove obstacles."
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting, specifically talking to Dusk. He's threatening him of, if you stand in my way, it is my job to remove you.
Yep.
But that's not what he says. He just says, it's my job to remove obstacles.
Mm-hmm. There's another little bit of Dajer information here that I only just noticed as I was like writing my notes down. It's a little buried. In chapter 38, Dajer tells Dusk where he got his information to come here. Did you guys notice it?
Who talked? Somebody talked. Okay.
Somebody talked. And okay. Somebody talked, and I'm worried. Dajer says, I got a tip from an arcanist that someone found a map, and I immediately took off and came here. Okay, we saw that.
Yep.
Starling found the map.
I even said that on the episode, that we better get going before one of those arcanists spreads the word.
And Starling sends Ed to go get a second opinion from the arcanist, and Ed goes, yeah, it's totally fine. These guys aren't going to talk. They're my buddies. I think Julio was one of the folks he's about to go talk to. But what if it was Ed?
That's I think that's certainly what we're meant to believe right now, or meant to think. So that makes me think it's someone else.
Well, if you mean by who spread the information, well, yeah, it is Ed, because he was supposed to go ask for a second opinion. But who tipped off the Malwish? I don't think it's Ed. I don't think we're supposed to think it's Ed.
I don't think we're supposed to think it's Ed, but I did in my second read through. Third read through.
What if it's Huyo and he's just a backstabbing snake?
That almost makes me wonder if that is supposed to be the implication here. Is that, hey, you recognized an arcanist. Oh, by the way, just a random arcanist gave a tip to the Malwish Scadrial military.
Yeah. I think more realistically, I feel like it's going to be shown to us there's probably a ton of politicking and red tape and backstabbing involved in the arcanery, discovery world, all this stuff. I think that's where we're heading. There's so much like political red tape involved in seemingly like everything, like Vothian, like all this stuff going on. There's a lot of that trope, which seems to be growing as the Cosmere become more, quote, civilized, maybe. I don't know what you want to call it. More developed.
What if it was Leonore and she's playing 5D chess?
Oh my.
She tips off the Malwish so that they beat them to the perpendicularity so that she can steal their ship and get a better ship because she hates the ship they fly.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Utter
I'm not
genius.
saying that's the best way to do it, but that's one way to do it.
Anything else? I guess we need to talk about the Starling offer. She gets offered to work under Dajer for 20 years. In exchange, he will remove her manacles and free her crew.
Correct.
And she says, maybe.
And to add to it, the other side of that threat is I will detain you and all your crew indefinitely.
Right. If you don't.
So basically prison. I'm going to imprison all of you if you don't take my deal.
And her crew is definitely some people on her crew who really don't want to be under maybe the law's jurisdiction or anything going on here. Like them being imprisoned is basically the end for them. Like
I'll also remind you that when Chrysalis went into Hoyd's smuggling box, she specifically said, I can't stay in there very long. That I will not be able to survive in that box for an extended period of time. So Chrysalis kind of has an expiration date on her hiding.
I got it. I'm combining two different things we said. So remember last episode I said Chrysalis was going to ditch him and fly away?
Yes.
And then this episode I said that Leonore was going to steal their ship. Chrysalis is going to fly off with all 6 ships at the same time.
Oh, okay.
she's going to go hotwire them all and whoop! And then
I mean, I'd be impressed.
It would be cool. And then Dajer and Starling and Dusk are all going to have to work together to get out of this. We don't have any ships anymore.
Unlikely friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She can also take Dusk's little rowboat.
Yeah, she takes the rowboat too.
And they have to all ride the
worm paste.
And they'll have to ride the Dakwara back to the back through the perpendicularity.
That's right. That's perfect.
Do you think? Okay, Paul. Do you think the Dakwara actually has an endless tail as long as the Earth or whatever? Because legend says she does, therefore she does, right?
I was gonna say my instinct was no. But then I thought, if everyone thinks that that's the case, then that is the case. And we are in a fantasy book, so that is possible here. So I'm going to say yes.
I've got an answer for you here, and it's LAFO.
Laugh and find out.
You can
Look
stew on
around
what
and
you
find
think
out.
LAFO means.
Okay, if the Daquara is and does have an endless tail or whatever, do you remember how Kakumon beats the Daquara, Paul?
And
Back
this
from like
wasn't
chapter
that long
4.
ago. No, I don't. I will remember as soon as you tell me. I'm sure.
I believe this is from memory. I didn't look this up. I believe he ties into knots and like goes around it or something, or like tricks it into attacking something else or something like that. So if it has an endless tail, how do you tie it in knots? That's my question. How's your Boy Scout, Paul?
Hey, okay. Don't want to brag, but okay, I was an Eagle Scout, right? Way back when I went to Boy Scout camp in the summer.
Okay.
And I remember they had a knot tying competition.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is taking me back to
How old were you?
I was at this time, at the time of this story, I was probably 12.
Okay.
12, maybe 13 or so. Yeah, probably more like 13. I go, and I funny enough, I was a big nerd about knots. I was really good at knots. I remember for my birthday, I got this like disc you could put in your computer, and it taught you how to tie all these different types of knots. Like I was far in this for a kid, and I was like, I want to go do this competition. But the troop I was a part of was really small, so nobody else really cared or knew any knots. So I went. I had one other friend who was also pretty good at tying knots, and we went. And you were supposed to have like a team of 6, but they let us go. And the way it worked, it was like a relay. You like run across this field, tie your knot, run back, tag your teammate, they'd go. And me and my friend won the whole competition. We beat every other troop at the camp.
Wow.
To all teams of 6 because we were just that like, other people went and they could do it. But you could, I guess one of the catches and part of how we won was they wouldn't let you run back until you tied it correctly, but we both were really good, so we never like made a mistake, so we were able to do it. But we were exhausted, but we won, and it was super awesome. Bragging rights that just the two of us beat all these teams. All that to say, yes, Trevor, pretty good with knots. So there you have it.
So what type of knot could we use if we can't find the other end of the snake and we only have one end of the snake?
Actually, there is an answer to that.
Uh-huh.
Which, if you are talking about infinity, okay, that's a bit different. But there is a knot that specifically you tie out of the middle of a rope.
Mm-hmm.
It's specifically to shorten a rope. It's called a sheep shank. There might be a new name for it now.
There is a new name for it.
But it used to be called a sheep shank. That's what I learned 10, 15 years ago or whatever. Where you basically tie it and you can pull it, and it like pulls your rope in. You just shorten it from the center. No idea what the new name is. But.
So we have less of an infinity of a Daquara.
Yes,
a smaller infinity.
It would be infinity minus the distance you're shortening with your knot in the middle. So,
Elliot, can we get a diagram for that for next week, please?
Yeah.
Don't tempt me. There is such a thing as lesser infinity. That is absolutely a thing. There is greater infinity and lesser infinity.
I mean, it certainly is shorter than if you didn't do that, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you had a Daquara and you subtracted a Daquara from the Daquara, you still have a Daquara.
but still less.
Correct. You'd have one Daquara less.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, problem solved.
Do you guys think anyone's still listening to us, or have they all turned it off?
No, I hope not, honestly. If I didn't lose it with my knot tying competition in the Boy Scouts, then...
All right. Dusk, get out there and tie a sheep shank out of this Daquara, and problem solved.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll do it.
Is that wrap it for us? Anything else, guys?
if any character in the Cosmere was going to be a member of the Boy Scouts, it's got to be Dusk, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. He already is. I mean, he's the
100%.
leader. He's the lead
Yeah.
trapper. Of course he is.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like this all checks out. So there you go.
Alrighty. Any final thoughts?
That's all I got.
Nope, nothing else.
We need to go find
Okay.
the Arcanist snitch. And
Yeah, I'm excited.
on 'em.
We do.
Still excited to see when Dusk may speak to Starling. We will see. To be determined.
May. We will find out if he may. Speaking of reading ahead and finding out, next week for our next episode, we're going to be reading chapters 41 through 44 as we continue on into the Emberdark. Thanks for joining me, guys. Trevor and Paul.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Happy New Year.